They call Moringa tree a miracle tree, but does the science agree? Today we'll score it across 6 major health pillars and reveal whether it deserves a superfood title. Another week, another discovery. Let's dive in. Last week, we talked about Moringa, its nutritional profile, its origins, and all those crazy, insane stats. Now we're going to dig into what the research says about its health benefits. If you missed that video, go back and watch it after this one. It's great to give you a little background about what even Moringa is. So I'm going to give this, we're going to go through each benefit and give it a scoring A through F, as we've done with prior superfood videos. I'm going to give you a little bit of rationale what these mean. A plus means best in class data or nutrition profile. A is strong human evidence and mechanisms. A minus, good human data, very strong preclinical data. B plus, promising but smaller scale human studies. And B or B minus, solid baseline, but we're not really going to boost the score overall. Anything below a C or below doesn't really boost the score at all. Baseline score is a 7 if you have at least 1 in a B category. So let's dive in. First off, let's take a look at the nutritional density. If you missed the other video, we dove into it. Moringa has all 9 essential amino acids, so making it a complete protein just like an egg or meat. Very rare in the plant world. And additionally, it's rich in vitamins A, C, E, and calcium, iron, potassium, plus a bunch of other stuff. Overall, a very complete plant from a nutritional perspective. It's high protein, low fat, got fiber. This is an A plus rating overall. Killer in the nutritional world. Let's take a second and move on to our benefits when we look at your health, and we'll take a look at anti-aging longevity. So first off, we're going to look at antioxidant power. Moringa has been shown to be full of antioxidants, and in studies reduce the overall oxidative stress on the human body by 30%, helping fight those free radicals in your body, and ultimately reducing the impacts that aging has on you. So huge winner there. Also, it is shown in studies to help with anti-inflammation. The main way it does this is it suppresses the inflammation triggers in your body that tell you, hey, go get inflamed. It actually goes in and just suppresses them, which can ultimately lead to less inflammation in the body, specifically arthritis or gut inflammation is where it has been shown to be the most effective. In the studies that I reviewed. Ultimately, overall anti-aging grade is going to be an A. Let's jump in to heart health. So when we look at heart health, we're going to take a look at cholesterol and blood pressure. With cholesterol, some studies were done where they found that taking Moringa can help lower your bad cholesterol up to 11%. Had some impact on the good, not as much on the good. Interesting, it was more on the bad. And ultimately supports a healthy lipid profile. This is going to help clear your arteries of all that buildup and ultimately reduce your risk of something like a heart attack or a stroke. Blood pressure, what it does there is it tells your blood, your veins to kind of relax, which ultimately helps lower your blood pressure. It's kind of like the inflammation. It just kind of like gets in there and says, hey, stop doing the crazy stuff you're doing. It's not quite as much on the cleaning side, but we did find that it can lower your blood pressure by up to 7 points. Overall, these are not bad, but they're not really strong movers in this. So the grade is going to be a B plus overall. Definitely is not hurting you in this area. But if you have chronic diseases in this is probably not going to solve your problem. You're probably going to still need medication, or you're going to want different plants that have a stronger impact on the blood, heart pressure type stuff. Anticancer potential. Now, I want to put a little caveat here because I'll talk about anti-cancer on probably every single one of these. And the reality is none of them are a cancer cure. There isn't a cancer cure at all. The most curative thing is probably surgery, and then you've got, all the different types of things that we've done full of side effects, sometimes work, often don't work. Your chemos and things like that don't always work. So when you have cancer, life and death is on the line, and the medical community doesn't recommend plants. They are not as strong as traditional cancer treatments, and they just aren't tried. So there is not great lab or great studies of any kind with any plant that goes in and says, this is the impact on cancer, because no one really even tries, at least not in a clinical setting. With that said, they have studied tons of plants in a lab or in animals, and so that's what we're going to take a look at and just kind of say, hey, what did it do there? Moringa actually did really well. In a lab setting, it was tested on breast, colon, lung, liver, oral, leukemia, and pancreatic cancer. And it caused antiposis, which is basically telling cancer you can go ahead and die now, which if you know about cancer, cancer doesn't want to die. It just keeps living. That's why it's a cancer, because cells are supposed to die every couple weeks in most cases. But cancer keeps living. Antiposis says, okay, you're done. And that's how cancer actually can die. It also is shown to block the tumor blood supply. So the other thing that cancer does is it sends a lot of blood vessels to it so it can grow faster. It needs more, right? And it stopped that. And then it also disrupts the energy pathways, which lead to it growing out and sending itself out in metastasis. These are all the things you want in fighting cancer. So, while there is not great clinical evidence, mostly because no one's going to try it, and to be honest, it may not even work, there is lots of great lab evidence. And if you're in a scenario like me, where you were currently clinically cancer-free and you want to never get cancer again, there's no better time than to try something like this, to just hope and pray that it actually has some benefits that you will never see. Overall grade is a B. Now, let's take a look at blood sugar. So if you're pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetes, probably if you're truly diabetic, might not be as strong of a support, but Moringa was found to help handle your blood sugar. And specifically looking at fasting blood sugars, it was able to lower by 28 points. Ultimately, what they found is it enhances insulin sensitivity, the AMPK activation, and it is a great tool in naturally supporting your blood sugar, especially if you're pre-diabetic or have type 2 diabetes and you're not trying to be heavily on traditional medicine. Doing a study comparison, I dug in and found there was a study where they did metformin, traditional dosage, 500 milligrams a day, and what they found was that reduced the fasting blood sugar by 25 points. Moringa, similar timing, a little less time, I think it was 30 days, only 7 to 8 grams of the leaf powder, so not really a lot. And it lowered the fasting blood sugar by 28.4 points. So comparable to metformin, which is a great kind of mild blood sugar medication out there. Ultimately, if you have actual issues with blood sugar, this isn't going to be an equivalent to insulin or something like that, but it can be part of an overall lifestyle if you're trying to manage your blood sugar naturally. So for that, it's got human studies. We're going to give this an A-. Brain and memory support. So this is a tough one to look at in any study because these are long-term effects. But in the study with rats, they were able to prove that Moringa helped with memory, helped their brain be a little sharper. And what they found is it reduced oxidative stress, which is a promising precursor to age-related diseases like dementia. Far from calling this a cure here, but there are indicators that it could have benefits in the brain, reducing inflammation in the brain, reducing oxidative stress, clearing your buildup of plaque in the brain, which are all good things if you're trying to avoid things like dementia. No guarantees here, but at least good indicators. So the grade we'll give this is a B. Now we can't wrap this up without talking about the risks. So leaf seeds, pods, these are generally safe to eat whenever you feel like it. And that leaf powder is what I personally use. You can also have the roots and bark. This is potentially not safe because it contains spirochene, which is a neurotoxin. So be really careful if you're considering moringa roots or bark type things. Also, because it actually has some strong benefits, it can interact with medication. So if you're on any medication, research, talk to your doctor, find out if it conflicts, especially if it's in the realms of blood sugar or heart-related blood pressure, things like that. Make sure that it doesn't interact or cause the medication to be stronger than it needs to be. All right, reveal. Let's take a look at the first category, nutritional density. We gave that an A+. Anti-aging, we gave it an A. Heart health, B+. Anti-cancer, a B. Blood sugar control, A-. And cognitive support, a B-. That gives our final score 8.8. So ultimately, Moringa scores an impressive 8.8. It's a nutritionally dense, anti-inflammatory, can help with blood sugar and heart health. Its anti-cancer and brain data are still early. Excuse me. But the science puts Moringa as a top winner in most categories and is worth adding to your diet. Have you ever tried Moringa? Have you done any teas or capsules? Or even tried eating some of the, leaf seeds, pods? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know how it's worked for you. If this video was interesting or helped, share it with someone who is struggling with any of these types of diseases. We got more evidence breakdowns coming in the future. Next video, we're going to talk about why we should just eat some of these superfoods instead of waiting for all the scientific studies. It's going to be fun. Come join me next week. Looking forward to it. God bless. We'll see you then.